What's going on, guys? I'm Al Mancini, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm coming at you with another review. This time it's for John Wick 3, Parabellum. Or is it Parabellum? No, I double checked. It's Parabellum. It's Parabellum. Now, to say I was excited for this movie was an understatement, because I loved John Wick 1, and John Wick 2 was a good movie too. Might be a little bit hard to make out, but I own copies of both of them because I like them that much. That's how you know I really like a movie, is if I'll go out and buy it on Blu-ray. And I want to just start by saying I was not disappointed with this film at all. Granted, there were some things that maybe I didn't care for as much as others, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But mainly, what I go for these movies to see is not so much the story, because granted there is one there. You know, it may not be the most gripping or in-depth story, but there is still a story. And the first thing that I'll just say about this movie and the three movies in general is that they're very consistent. You're going to see a big budget action movie with shooting, close quarters combat, and Keanu Reeves, and that's what you get. And I'd seen various different postings of how Keanu gets trained for these films and how he does, I'm pretty sure, at least 95% of his own stunts for the film, and it definitely shows. You can tell that he's dedicated a lot of time to sort of mastering this craft of performing these different stunts with the stunt team that had trained him how to do it. The man did not slack off, that's for sure. And the action scenes are just quality, fun fight scenes. There's literally, again, no spoilers here, but there's literally a part in the beginning of the movie where he kills someone with a fucking book. A book. Keanu Reeves is basically the man. You do get some supporting roles in here from Halle Berry as well. In previous movies that I've seen her in, I didn't really care for her too much as of an actor. She didn't really do too much for me in prior films, and though her part in this movie is somewhat small, I still enjoyed her quite a bit. She's kind of a badass. Other characters, like Lawrence Fishburne, is in the movie, and, him and Keanu have worked together in the past in The Matrix, and they had some chemistry going into this film also. Another thing that I liked with this movie, too, is that they did focus a lot more on that close quarters, up-in-your-face combat with John Wick. In the past, he did a little bit of that, but for the most part, he was just shooting people with a pistol or using another gun to shoot people. And in this film, it was a lot more in-depth in terms of how he's fighting people. And now, as I mentioned before, the plot in this movie, it wasn't anything crazy. Basically, it continues right where the second movie had left off. He's marked excommunicado, and he's basically running for his life because anybody involved in this ring of assassins is basically trying to kill him and get a really, really high bounty reward in exchange for killing John Wick. And I'd say if I had to really pinpoint a negative about this movie, that would probably be one of them. You see him leaving John Wick 2, walking through the city, and everybody's sort of slowly staring at him, waiting for the excommunicado to take effect so they can get the jump on him. And then they kind of pick up on him leaving this big group of people in the beginning of this third movie. And they don't really show too much of, the struggle that he would have had to go through from leaving the end of John Wick 2 into where it begins with him in John Wick 3. And then the other negative that, again, wasn't too much of a drawback, there is a little bit of downtime in between parts of this film when he's going from one destination to the other, and where he's going along the course of his journey sometimes doesn't really make sense. Some of the choices that he makes, in your mind might be like, well, why the fuck is he doing that? Sometimes trying to follow that was a little bit difficult. But again, I'm going to see John Wick fuck people up, and that's what I got. And I will say, too, they never really pinpoint and say, this is going to be a trilogy or that this is, the end for John Wick. When you get to the end of the film, again, no spoilers, they do indicate that we are going to be seeing more from John Wick in the future. They are going to be making more movies because everyone likes him so much. And I don't know, I kind of would have liked for it to be a trilogy and just end with number 3. And the last thing that I'll say about the film, too, is sometimes when I would be watching John Wick 1 and John Wick 2, it almost seemed that he was invincible or had some sort of cheat codes or something like that to make it so that, he always kind of got away scot-free. Using the term scot-free kind of lightly because obviously I know he got his ass kicked a couple times in the first movie and, he gets bloodied or he gets hit every now and then. But in this third film, you can really kind of tell that he's fucked at some points, you know? He doesn't have a means to fight people. He doesn't have a means to get by at certain points. And, you know, he definitely suffers some ramifications from that. And it kind of just brings him down a little bit in terms of, you know, making it seem like he's invincible. I like to see that, you know, and not even just in this film, other movies where the main character is like a killer or an assassin or something like that. It's nice to actually show that they're human a little bit. And that's my review, guys. If I had to score this movie as of right now, I would give John Wick an 8 out of 10. And there you guys have it, John Wick 3, Parabellum, in theaters this weekend. I highly encourage you to go see this movie if you've seen the other two. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought, and as always, if you do like this video and you want to see more, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. And in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.